Hi, I'm Brendan.
And I'm Daniel.
Today we will be talking about Gammera the Invincible and
Atragon.
we're the Gatekeepers, and we will be arguing and disputing all the factors that it will accomplish.
We're right even when we're wrong.
Definitely. So we're talking about two 1960s Japanese movies today.
Are they both kaiju, or is that something more specific?
Look, I would debate your movie, but at the same time, it does have a giant mythological creature that
Is that what that puppet was?
that dragon puppet that has eyes that
Is he meant to be scary? Because he's real cute.
He's really cute.
Look at this image that we're going to put up.
So, for those who don't know, kaiju roughly translates into giant monster, and it is a type of movie where, technically, the kaiju genre started in America with not even Godzilla, but actually King Kong.
Which is weird, because when you think about kaiju, when I think about kaiju, it is specifically monster movies from Japan.
Yes, and the first ever kaiju movie made in Japan was Godzilla, which both of our movies is very blatantly ripping off. And
Yep.
at the point of,
I think yours more than mine.
yes, Gammera the Invincible is very much hoping to be as successful as Godzilla.
Yeah, it's set in the Cold War. You can tell because they're in the snow.
Yes.
That awesome joke.
So the start of the movie starts off in the North Pole, where a Japanese scientist team, I don't know what kind of science they are there doing. Vague science. And the local Inuit people are like, oh, hey, how are you guys? Oh, look, there's American and Soviet fighters and bombers, and the Soviet bombers accidentally crash with a nuclear bomb on board. Oh no!
That's how that happens. It's Cold War.
Just irradiating one of the more delicate ecosystems in the world.
Yeah, and then because of the metaphor, a fucking monster appears, a giant fire-breathing turtle that flies. And I will say this, even though your movie is incredibly boring, it's very efficient. We are less than 10 minutes in, we've been introduced to the thing, a plane's crashed, and now there's a giant turtle that is fire-breathing and then destroying everything, and a kid's there. I hate the kid.
The kid doesn't come into like a good 20 to 30 minutes in.
It felt like an hour.
We have to go over to the American scenes where the Americans will be discussing things endlessly.
That fucking poor dude. That clearly didn't know what the fuck he
Daniel.
was talking about.
Language.
He did not understand anything that he was talking about.
So we should also note that you watched the original Japanese version,
Yes.
while I watched the American version.
Right.
And the difference is
It's not just the dub.
all the American scenes were reshot, and there is actually more American scenes in this movie than there is actually Japanese scenes.
I feel so bad for you. Because there was like 3 scenes set in America, and I hated all of them. That general, the actor that they got to play the general, I think a bare minimum for being an actor is knowing your lines before they film. And he had his script out. I know this because I did the same thing.
So the Japanese scientist's ship also gets destroyed by Gammera, and then they just get back to Japan. They fly back to Japan, and we're introduced to this. We'll just call this kid Kenny.
Yeah.
At a lighthouse, and he has a pet turtle.
Oh,
because he's cool. Because he's 20 years ahead of the curve.
He's not only that, but like this movie's about giant turtle symbolism.
And he's forced to literally free his turtle.
And he's like, oh no,
I don't want to.
Gammera isn't that bad, even though he destroys
A lighthouse.
a lighthouse and also is attacking a city. He's not that bad because he was
Gammera doesn't
kind
attack.
to me.
Gammera saves the child after the child goes up the lighthouse, and then like he just like Gammera almost pushes the lighthouse over, and well, actually he does. But like the kid's at the top of the lighthouse, he falls out. Gammera catches him and then puts him on the ground. How nice is that?
Oh, it's good. But
Fun fact,
Is-
everyone. Gammera, one of Gammera's many titles is Friend to All Children.
Oh, good. It'll help when he kills their parents. I hate this kid. I hate him so much. Why is he here? Is this a thing? Because like this is a franchise, isn't it?
This is a franchise, and throughout the Gammera franchise, we do have a consistency of children characters being the human lead.
Fuck.
They just like pop up in like scientific and international military meetings to give their opinion.
And naturally, the scientist never listens to the kid.
Oh no, they do. They do.
Why?
That happens in several movies down the line. This is the first Gammera movie. I should have said that earlier. I'm so sorry, everyone. Gammera's next attack point after the lighthouse is, of course, a geothermal power station where they drop water down into the earth and then let volcanic action heat up the water and turn it into steam. Creating power. So like that's like a really green energy way to like
Cool.
that's
Use
very
atomic
green
energy for green stuff. It's like they're saying that maybe but Soviet Union and American
No. Gammera destroys that.
No, of course it does.
But Gammera doesn't like that humanity will one day destroy the Earth, and that is his greatest fear. Fun fact.
Thank God for that. I reckon that we would solve climate change if a giant fuck-off turtle was threatening us.
Fun fact, Gammera shoots rockets out of the holes of his arm and leg holes
Where was
of his
this?
turtle.
Oh yeah, he would turn himself into a flying saucer. They're like, a UFO. And I'm like, that wasn't a UFO. I mean, technically it's an unidentified flying object. So we've identified it's a giant fuck-off turtle.
All UFOs in real life are just giant turtles.
It's true. This is a fact. We know about that.
It turns out that Gammera's only weakness is the cold. But luckily, the Japanese military has something that they can use for that. But it will only last for 10 minutes. So that's not enough time to get Gammera back to the North Pole.
How do they solve this problem?
Well,
does it involve a rocket?
No, they decide to they freeze him, and then they create a landslide and flip the turtle on his back, and that's how we learn that Gammera is the UFO. So what are they going to do next? How are they going to make sure that Gammera, he goes and destroys the city?
Yeah, he does. That kid was wrong.
Yeah, the kid doesn't it's very obvious, especially in this movie of the Gammera franchise, that Gammera doesn't like people, and he wants to create a few orphans along the way. The military's next step is they're like, oh, you know that giant rocket that we have?
Yes, that one that has a thing that is Gammera sized.
Perfect. Do you know how Gammera's giant and everything? We've got a rocket that size.
The only way that we can solve this problem is if the Americans and Soviet Union work together with China and us, Japan. So you got Japan, China, the Soviet Union, and the US working together in order to shoot a lizard into space, and that's how we a turtle into space, and that's how we solve the Cold War. You're welcome, Rocky fucking eat a dick.
So let's talk about your movie now.
Mine's much more batshit crazy.
Yours has a flying World War II Japanese submarine that can drill into the earth.
It's some H.G. Wells shit.
So, do you want to recount the plot of this movie?
I don't think that I was paying that much attention, but what I can tell is that Japan is basically heroes, and they go and invade a country that I didn't know if it was based on a real country or not.
Mu is a fictional continent said to be beneath the Atlantic Ocean.
That's That's so weird, because that's like the place that Death Note said all the souls go when they die. So it might be based on like a new, on like a Japanese word that means something.
I've never watched Death Note. I'm not a nerd.
Yes, you are, you liar.
I watched Godzilla.
Oh yeah, completely different.
Different thing
How
completely.
do I find Godzilla? Anyway, some batshit crazy shit happens. They fly submarines. Want to point that out? This is some H.G. Wells shit. This is worse than the time that he used helium to go to the moon.
You're not explaining this movie.
You explain it.
I can't. I was drunk.
So was I. That's the only way you can get through this bullshit. I know she had a dumb wig.
So, like,
You want to talk about the wig?
I'll try to recount it then.
Thank
I
you.
try. So, Atragon is about how there was this World War II submarine that was so good that 20 years after the war, the Japanese military is like, oh, we're going to build it now, and we're going to be a world power again. Not Japanese imperialism wanting to come back or anything. Don't worry.
No, don't worry about it. I mean, look at American war movies. In America, Godzilla.
Which one?
The latest one. Godzilla got powered by nukes in a desperate erasure of the past. So people don't care about the past at all. We're making fun popcorn movies here, people. We are being distributed by cheesy productions.
So this designer of this submarine is like, oh, we're going to build it, and then he gets kidnapped, doesn't he? Or his son and his daughter.
Someone gets kidnapped. We were very drunk.
Some Japanese people get kidnapped, and they are taken to the underwater continent of Mu, which is guarded by a giant dragon.
That may or may not, and I remind you, it looks like this. It may or may not
be the most cuddly dragon ever created.
Yes, we got that luck dragon.
No. The luck dragon.
From Neverending Story.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I'm sorry, that's flat terrifying.
And
the eyelashes.
It's very funny that is meant to be fun and cute, and you find it scary, and this one I think is meant to be scary.
It's adorable.
It's real cute. It's like a puppy.
How much did you drink while watching this movie?
I had a 6-pack.
I drank an entire bottle, 22 standard drink bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, that's why we can't remember a thing. I watched your movie sober, and then I regretted it, and then I watched my movie drunk and can't remember a thing.
The Japanese have the fastest turnaround time of like building a submarine, like high-end submarine.
I mean, it's only a model.
And like all the Japanese submariners are also, they are wearing World War II Japanese like uniforms.
So it's the best we could afford.
No,
this
it
was
wasn't.
made in a shoestring budget, and it's still
No, it
better.
wasn't.
It wasn't?
Like I'm telling you, like those miniatures cost a bundle.
That's amazing. That means that they made something this weird just because they could.
Because like
You don't get shit like that anymore.
so like Mu captured the Japanese people, so the Japanese would hand over the submarine to them because they knew if anyone got this submarine, which would mean Mu was no longer the world power because they want to enslave the world again. I think.
Oh, God. Look, summarizing this, there is no point to it, but we were both drunk. My question is to you.
The Empress of Mu has this horrible red wig.
She has two.
She has two horrible
One of
red
them is
wigs.
orange.
And like she's captured, and they're like the Japanese take her and they blow up their geothermal power source, and they just like the Japanese just like kill a whole continent worth of people.
You know, for fun.
For fun.
It's a fun movie where we murder so many people because we're the heroes. Also, I couldn't get the original Japanese version, so imagine all of this, but all the Japanese people have American accents.
Very thick American accents.
So American. It's so weird, and I tried desperately to give a shit.
But the editing is very fast paced. If you are going to have like a drunken movie night, I would definitely recommend this movie.
Have a drinking game for every time you notice that her wig changes.
Out of these two movies, which one do you think is the better?
The better? I like your movie better.
I like your movie better. Because mostly I don't think I remember it.
The thing is that I had to be drunk to watch mine, and I can't remember most of it, and it was crazy. And yours felt like a real movie. My one just felt like a bunch of stuff that happened.
At the end of the day, we brought each other great movies.
We certainly did that thing.
So next week, we're going to be talking about one movie that you selected.
Yes, because I feel like we can't match movies like this forever.
I feel like we can.
I don't want to. But I find I'm going to show you possibly the second best Batman movie behind that Prince video I showed you today. Batman versus Two-Face, 60s Batman with a budget. I mean, I say budget, it's a cartoon, so we'll just draw the thing. It's either this or the previous one where they go into space and they have like bat-shaped helmets. Anyway, I'll see you then.
We'll see you then. I'm excited.
Woo!
Woo! Bye. Keep waving.